Hello, wrestling fans, and welcome to the AIWF Mid Atlantic Breakdown. It's a brand new show featuring myself, Rick Diesel, the man in charge, naturally, and Reagan Danzig, the person that handles the production. You are the production manager. Is that it? Did I get
Well,
that right?
I think I have a little bit more authority than just the production
Okay.
manager, but
How would
you
you
are
like to
the
be addressed?
I don't know. Production manager's fine. I don't really care at this point. That's fine. It'd take some of the like um I
Well,
won't
you
have
are
to
the
worry about it so
mofo
much.
in charge of everything that is filmed and produced, right? Producer, show
I'm
producer.
the
That's you.
I'm the gorilla manager for the setting and the wrestlers. So, but
Okay.
anyway.
She is in charge of the AIWF Mid Atlantic production film crew. If you don't treat her right, she can cut you off at the knees
That is true.
and make you look really bad on.
I have a pretty good tendency of messing up the connection. So anytime you cut a promo, I can just pull out a wire and
That's
nobody
right.
hear what you say.
That's all it takes. So basically, what this show's about, and you notice Matt Carter's not here because Matt Carter handles everything wrestling. This show's going to cover everything AIWF Mid Atlantic. We're going to talk about what's going on. We're going to talk about the feuds, the matches. We're going to talk about what's upcoming, kind of a year in review, and an upcoming year that's going on. So, uh, what comes? All right, our last show was in November on my birthday. Naturally, that's the best way to end the season. Um, is that it was season's beatings? What comes to your mind, Reagan, about that show that stands out that you
Um,
remember?
I would say you screwing over Cam Isaac for
I didn't.
his
All right, first off,
AIWF light heavyweight belt. So that one sticks out to me. Also that um, you know Kevin Phoenix lost his belt to Jackson Sane. Jackson Sane toted him off, and we have not heard from Kevin Phoenix since. So those are the two things that pop out in my mind the most.
all right. First off, let's get one thing perfectly clear. I didn't screw over Cam Isaac. Okay. Cam
Yeah.
Isaac is barely out of training. All right. Uh, and I'm not sure he's ready for the responsibility of a belt of that caliber.
I did not know that was a stipulation. It seems like it should just go to the person who got the 1, 2, 3. In my humble opinion of being involved in this business for over 20 years and being a wrestling fan for even longer than that, I've never seen that stipulation in any of the wrestling I've ever seen.
Well, all right, let's put that aside. You know me. You've known me a long time, and I am a grudge toting somebody. All right. I don't know how much language we're going to use on this. We're going to try to keep it a little low key for now. But you know me, I'll tote a grudge. I remember when you used to tote a grudge. I remember me, you, Brian, Daniel, Brad, and Nick, all these guys. We had something that we used to make things right back in the day. Okay. And I still have that mentality. I'm sure that as you've got older, you know what I'm saying? You're a mother now, so you have to have those tendencies to where you look at things a little different. I don't. I remember things and I hold grudges. And my biggest issue with Cam Isaac is Lodi. We all know that. Lodi hung me off of a building just to get a match with Ty Tyson. I don't forget that. So Cam Isaac is going to have to suffer for the things Lodi did. Now, if Lodi don't like it, he can come up here and tell me to my face. I don't care. You know what I'm saying?
I'm just the thing about it is, yes, I have mellowed out in my older age. I wouldn't say I'm old, I but like grudges don't do anything but ruin you. Like grudges never work out well. I mean, I could hold a grudge against Lodi. I mean, we just saw the video from a few weeks ago where I tried to hit him with the chair and he DDT'd me and gave me one of the worst DDTs of my life. So it may that I bit off the tip of my tongue, I could hold that against Lodi. Lodi's a different person now too. Lodi's probably a different person than he was 8 years ago. But I don't understand like holding a grudge that long. That doesn't do anything but hurt Rick Diesel. Doesn't hurt Lodi, doesn't hurt, well, hurts Cam Isaac, but holding
It
a grudge
will.
is just too much.
I get that. I get that. And I'm sure that, baking cookies and brownies and doing laundry does do things to your psyche to mellow you out a little bit. I understand that. But that's you. That's not me. Me, I remember it wasn't that long. It wasn't like 8 years ago that Lodi ambushed me, put a bag on my head, and I don't even know who helped him, but somebody was holding my feet as I was hanging off that building. What if that had dropped me? What if that had broke my neck? Then what would have happened? The world would have been missing Rick Diesel, first off. That's bad enough. And then who would be taking this company to the heights that it's getting ready to go to in 2025 if Rick Diesel had a broke neck, right? From Lodi. So you got to understand I don't let stuff like that die easy. But then again, I don't bake cookies.
I don't bake cookies either. I am a complicated chef. I don't just bake cookies and brownies. I make fancy dishes like pasticcio that you can't comprehend. So that has
Greek
nothing to do with
cookies.
me being mellowed out. Now, I might be mellowed out because I don't have any memory anymore because I got hit in the head so many times. So maybe that mellows you out eventually when your brain just starts just losing all memory and all thought processes from 15 to 20 years ago. But I mean, even if I had a grudge, I would hold the grudge against Lodi, not some 20-year-old kid who was probably 11 years old. What, let's see, 8 years ago, he might have been 12 years old at that time. He probably wasn't even thinking about Lodi at that time. So that just doesn't make any sense to me.
Well, Lodi's not here. Lodi was here at Deal with the Steel, and I was fully expecting the Barbarian and Lewis Moore to deal with Lodi at that point, but they did not, like I'd hoped. So now I have to take matters into my own hands, which everybody knows what happens when I do that. So yes, I will deal with Lodi, but I will deal with Cam Isaac because Cam Isaac is going to have to bear the brunt of Lodi's actions, maybe to make Lodi think before he does something to somebody else that is actually going to be around in this business long enough to remember those things. Like me, I don't go away easily.
So, though my question is now, what are we doing with that belt? What is the plan going forward? Are we giving it back to Jeff Paul? I mean, are we giving it back to him?
No.
Like, what are we doing now?
I'll give Cam Isaac the win. I'll give him that. All right. So I cannot, with a clear conscience, and I do have a conscience, I cannot give that belt back to Jeff Paul. I won't do that. So because I am a man of principle. So what I'm going to do is when we come back, starting in April 5th in Mount Airy, we're going to start having a tournament for this title. Now, if Cam Isaac wants, if Cam Isaac can make it, I'll let him enter the tournament. If he can make it through that tournament and beat all the cruiserweights that's in that tournament, then you know what? I'll sell you right now. I'll let him have that belt. But he's going to earn it. He is going to earn it like he's never earned anything before in his life.
So that begs the question of, we already let Jeff Paul have this belt, and he was definitely over the weight limit. So
we don't know that for sure. We never weighed him.
Okay. Yes, you're right.
We never put him on a set of scales.
I'm just making an educated guess that he was over the what is it? 120. What is the weight limit?
200 pounds.
200 pounds. So, okay. So, all right, we'll see. But so that was the one thing.
Jeff Paul moves like a cruiserweight. I seen a picture on Facebook where he done a dive out of the ropes. That's a cruiserweight move.
This is not a no limits belt. This is a cruiserweight belt.
Oh, if it was, Jeff Paul would be a champion because he has no limits.
That is true. So
yes.
But the other thing, I guess, is, have we heard from Kevin Phoenix after this Jackson Sane match?
I have not heard from Kevin Phoenix. But then again, I'm assuming he don't need money. And he don't need me to pay for a trip somewhere. So I'm assuming he's not gonna contact me until he does.
Actually, no, I did see something come up with Kevin Phoenix today.
Oh,
Kevin
I
Phoenix,
seen that.
that I mean, I guess things are doing well after his loss and his toting off with Jackson Sane, because it looked like he said he was going to be signing a big deal to work in England.
Well, honestly, if I had the embarrassment that he went through with Jackson Sane, I would probably go to another country too, to be honest. I mean, you know what I'm saying? That's just me talking. But if I'd been embarrassed by Jackson Sane and Jezebeth, I do believe that I would consider moving, and working somewhere else. Just to be on the safe side, because you don't want that embarrassment again.
I don't know if it's really embarrassment. I mean, he went through an ordeal before that match. I mean, he was pretty much kidnapped and abducted by who I assume was Jackson Sane, and had to escape from Jackson Sane. I mean, that's a pretty horrific thing to go through.
I don't know about it. I've never seen no police report. I never seen his picture on a milk carton. I
don't know that they do that anymore.
I find that whole thing sketchy. I feel like Kevin Phoenix may have just made that up, but that's just me talking. I mean, if I was looking, maybe he's needing attention. You know what they say about people who get kidnapped? 8 out of 10 of them just done it. They faked it.
I
feel like I've seen that statistic somewhere.
Oh my God.
I mean, it's not like he's a little, girl that they human traffic down to Mexico to make socks, right? It's a grown man. He was kidnap a grown man.
You knock him out and you put him in a coffin and you tear off down the road, and we still don't know who was driving that truck.
So now you're trying to say that the Soul Taker was involved.
I mean, it was a sequence of events that led to Kevin Phoenix being abducted and having to escape from a captor. I mean, that's not something you go through and come out on the other end in a good way. Like, that affects you mentally. And so I do wonder, what's going to happen, or even if he's going to England, if we'll ever even see Kevin Phoenix again. I mean, who knows?
I don't know. Let's just say, for the hell of it, that I give Kevin Phoenix the benefit of the doubt, and he was kidnapped and held restrained for multiple hours or multiple days. And I guess if that happened, then I'm assuming that could affect somebody's mental psyche. All right, we'll give him that. We'll go with you on this one. We'll just say, okay, Kevin Phoenix was kidnapped, and he was held at, I don't know, gunpoint, knife point,
rat
cobra point, I don't know, bullet point, whatever you want to say, that he was held, and it messed with him mentally. So maybe he was held at rat point. I don't know. But for whatever reason, we'll go with your scenario, and we'll say, okay, Kevin, then maybe he's got a lot to work through. Maybe he's always done good in England. It's always been his go-to place when he's really needed to find himself. Okay, so maybe somewhere over around Stonehenge, himself is hiding, and he can go over and find it, and he'll come back a better wrestler and a better man. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt on that.
Well, I'm glad to see you've grown since 5 minutes ago.
So I have. See, I'm like an onion. I have many layers.
Yeah, you stink like an onion. You're right.
See, I was trying to be nice. I even give Kevin Phoenix benefit of that, and there you go. Everybody always wants to attack Rick Diesel.
I know. It's terrible. The other big thing was not
Mecha Mercenary. That's a big thing.
That was what I was getting ready to say, was Mecha Mercenary coming out. Because, apparent, as most people know, even though both Matrix and Christina are in the Hall of Fame, they are They are not going silently into the night. They took those tag belts and they look like they are ready to defend those at a moment's notice. Corey Edsel seemed to have turned over a new leaf after the fact.
I think Corey has been smoking a new leaf. That's what's wrong with him. If he's going to turn his back on Mecha Mercenary, Mecha Mercenary is going to be a factor. You know what I'm saying? No, people will leave Rick Diesel alone when Mecha's with me. Just so you know. Just so you all people know. I want to put it out there to everybody. Just understand, you mess with Rick Diesel, you get the mercenary.
So you're gonna have Mecha Mercenary and then the Squirrel Monkey Seth Clayton Burns.
Let me tell you something about Seth Clayton Burns. A lot of people like to make fun of him because they think they can beat him up because he's not the biggest guy in the locker room. But let me tell you something. He don't fight you with his fists. He fights you with his brain. And that's a smart man. He's a very smart. I spent time with him. I've talked to him. I've listened to him. I've watched him sit in the corner and strategize. You know what I'm saying? It's like he's like a robot over there, just stuff. You can just see the numbers going through his mind. You know what I'm saying? It's like you've seen it on these movies where you just see it out. It's out there. And he sees it all. He has a plan always. I like him for that. Yeah, see, I'll leave you.
I don't really know what to say about that. I want to be nice. It's the first show. I don't want to be too nice. I will wish him a happy birthday. I don't know when this is coming out, but his birthday was yesterday. He's the big old 25 years old, like a tiny little baby. I don't see you holding against him anything that happened when he was 12.
I didn't know him when he was 12.
You didn't know Cam Isaac either.
I knew his trainer.
Ugh.
That's 6 degrees of Lodi right there. All right, 6 degrees of Lodi. If I can trace you back to Lodi, I have a problem with you.
I would just say the one thing with Mecha Mercenary, though, is I don't think you want to get on the bad side of Matrix and Tenny. I know them very well. I would say of all the people that have been in the AIWF, me and Brian know them the best. And they are vicious. You talk about somebody who's going to hold a grudge. I mean, the thing about them is when they hold a grudge, they actually do something about it. And I really worry for your safety. They're going to come at you and they're going to keep coming. And they look the best they've looked. I mean, they don't even look like they've aged.
What have you heard?
Huh?
What have you heard? First, you're talking about how well you know them, and then you're talking about how they're going to be coming for me. So
I'm not saying I know anything. I can prepare. I'm just saying that these aren't people that you should take lightly. I mean, they have plans. I mean, I'm not saying I know them or if I don't know them. I'm just saying I'm sure there's some plans that they're going to be putting into action when we come back in April.
Well, I'll take that into consideration. How's that? I'll take that into consideration.
Yep. Yeah. Just a little thing to put in your brain. Maybe Seth Clayton Burns can do some simple algebra or some simple addition or subtraction in his brain.
Let me tell you something. I turn this problem over to Seth Clayton Burns. He will fix it. Just like that. He's a very smart man. But I don't want to talk about Matrix and Tenny no more. I don't even want to talk about them. I don't want to talk about Cam Isaacs either. I got a lot planned for him too. What I am going to talk about is, guess what? All right. The holidays went good with Ty Tyson, the father of my grandchildren. He kept his mouth shut. He knew his place. All right. He understood the assignment. Okay. Rick Diesel runs the family. He sits there and he shuts up. And if I need him to get me a drink or something, he handled it. So he done good. I'm proud of him. He's gonna be all right.
I figured that's just, you're putting him in a terrible situation. A terrible situation.
I didn't marry her. He did. Oh, you're talking about something else. I'm sorry.
I, I don't. First of all, I know Trista, and I'm sure she is fuming right now. So if Ty is just biding his time, I'm sure it's to keep the peace. So I would not. I think that's like the rumbling of a volcano. It's like right now you don't see anything happening, and then it's just going to keep building up till it just explodes, and then you're just collateral damage.
Well,
Seems like you're making a lot of enemies lately.
all I can say is Mount St. Ty needs to keep the lava down if he knows what's good for him. Now, here's something else that's very important. I want to talk to you just a minute, and I know this is more of just a recap show. We're just getting started, so these shows could go anywhere from 15 to 30 minutes. You know what I'm saying? We're not going to drag them out real long because, to be honest with you, I got other things to do. But let me tell you, we talked just a little bit about the ICW, okay? Because we are running shows in with ICW in Ivanhoe, Virginia. And last time we were up there, I had to step in and do some things because what's her name? Jackie, Jukebox Jackie. Hang on a minute, let me look up her name here. I know it's in here somewhere and it might be important, but let me look. I think somebody sent me her name one time, so I couldn't remember it. Still can't remember it, don't care. I'll just call her Jukebox Jackie. She's the commissioner with ICW, and she does a horrible job. She's really bad. She's not very proactive. So I had to step in and do something with the tag titles at the last show in Ivanhoe. Now, with that being said, I am scheduled to be in Elizabethton, Tennessee this Saturday night for the big cage match that they say is going to determine who is the true tag champs of the ICW. And that's fine. But I'll be there in case Jukebox Jackie don't, do her job. I'll step in. I don't mind. I can run two companies. I'm that good still in my old age. So that may be what the ICW needs is somebody like me to come in, that's honest and straightforward and will get things done. You understand? So I just want everybody to know that I'm going to be watching Jukebox Jackie, and we're going to make sure that everything in the ICW is straight down the line. Now, I know you don't know much about that, but I just had to get that out.
Well, I met her at an Ivanhoe show, and I don't see her being somebody that's going to be easily bowled over. I don't see that she's somebody that's gonna just roll over for Rick Diesel and just let him come in and take over an organization that they've been running for years now and doing rather well. So I don't see how that she's just going to let you come in and just do whatever you want in an organization that you've just started being around within the past 6 months.
Well, I'm not saying I'm just going to purposely and intentionally take anything away from her. I'm just saying if I see she's not doing the job right, I am willing to sacrifice my time to step in and kind of nudge her in the right direction. How's that? That sound better?
This isn't going to end up well either. You're really laying the groundwork for a terrible 2025 for Rick Diesel.
I think I'm laying the groundwork for a freaking amazing 2025, and I'm so disappointed in you, Reagan. You used to support me in these things. Too many cookies.
It's not. Oh my God. That's the thing is I've spent a lot of time controlling my anger and my urges to violence. I've decided that doesn't get you anywhere in life, but it's still there. I just know how to control a little bit better, and I know how to exert my will in a different way that is not anger and violence. So take that as you will also.
Yeah, I'll take it. Though. Just all I'm saying, as far as ICW is concerned, January 18th, Elizabethton, Tennessee, I'll be there. And February 1st in Ivanhoe, Virginia, is the first big show, for AIWF Mid-Atlantic and ICW in 2025. So we're going to have, we've already lining up wrestlers to be there. We're going to start announcing them soon. Anniversary show. Let's talk about that for a minute. That's the big 33rd anniversary show, AIWF. Matt Classic has people lined up from all over the country coming in for this one. So, is there anybody you're interested in seeing? Let's try to nudge you back in a more, because you look like you was getting a little. Your blood pressure might have been going up. So, as me being the great host that I am, I'll pull you back down.
Well, I was just curious if he's going to be able to bring in any of the international people. I know we have a organization in Mexico. If we were going to be able to bring in anybody from there, have you heard from which territories that he's going to be bringing into the show?
I have not, but I have heard that like Rick Del Santo, he does a podcast on the AIWF network. I've heard he's coming. I've heard the world champion's going to be there. The national champion's going to be there. I think the world tag champs are going to be there. There should be announcements starting really, really soon for this. It's still 6 weeks away. So I'd say sometime in February, we could start really getting some announcements coming in. So everybody will be watching for that.
Matt Classic said Paolo Triassi is an international star and competitor that's going to be at the show in Mount Airy for the first time. So he looks real cute. Like,
there you go. See. Anyway, anniversary show, March 1st and 2nd. Tickets are $10 for the floor, $5 for bleacher. And I'm sure if you get a two-night deal, that they'll give you some kind of discount. There's the information is starting to slowly come in, and I'm expecting the next couple of weeks then for it to really start picking up. And then the first Mid-Atlantic show is going to be April 5th. We can talk about that as we go in. There will be another Ivanhoe show between then. So
if you were coming from Mount Airy, what would be the best way? Because I know that if you put in your GPS, sometimes it takes you through the middle of a cemetery, like it did for us. And I thought I was in Night of the Living Dead. What would be the best way for them to get to? You get off at Fort Chiswell, is that right?
From Mount Airy to Ivanhoe, yes. You get off Fort Chiswell. It's the first exit after the 7781 connection. It's the first exit. You take a left, you go out there, and you'll come to a traffic light, and you take a right, and that takes you right to it. So it's left off of 81, right at the traffic light. There's a grocery store and a bank. I think it's a food city. I'm not sure, food village, or I don't know what the heck. But anyway, there's a traffic light right there. Take a right at that traffic light. It's Ivanhoe Highway, I think it is. And that takes you, it's literally out there probably about 9 miles on the left.
Yes. Much better than the way
actually, what I may do, if everybody wants, I can put directions. I can get like turn-by-turn directions and post them on the Mid-Atlantic page.
I think that'd be a good idea. Because like I said, when we did the GPS, it took us like to Hillsville and through like 15 different roads and through a road that I was afraid was going to be like get us murdered and like just all these crazy ways. So that's much better, easier way to get there.
There you go. All right. Well, I tell you what, anything else you want to talk about?
No.
I don't want to drag us out. We might go another 5 minutes if we need to. Yeah. I'm sure the show will get longer and better as we go. Right now, we're touched on that, and we're going to try to do this weekly. And it's mainly what our biggest thing about this is we want to be, we want to recap the Mid-Atlantic episodes that air on Tuesday nights on the AIWF network on YouTube. That's going to be our big thing. This is a Mid-Atlantic show, so if they don't have anything to do with Mid-Atlantic, we probably won't be talking about it. So don't expect us to come on here and talk about how you can't see John Cena. Okay? So that's not going to happen unless he shows up in Mount Airy. But if you can't see him, who's going to know? You don't know they ain't been there already. See? Because
that's true, yeah. So
this is a Mid-Atlantic show. Go ahead.
So we'll be doing recorded ones, but if there's anything you want us to talk about, anything you want to ask, just go ahead. You should be able to leave it under the comments of this video. Since it's not live, it won't be doing the little chat underneath it. So, anything you want us to talk about, anything you want to ask, just put it under those comments of this video. Let us know, and then we will see how it goes from here.
And and if there's anything you want to talk about, so let us know, like Reagan said, and we will cover it on the next episode. So tell us if you like this. Tell us if there's anything you'd like to see us change about it. Tell us, I don't know, give us a 5-star rating, like Yelp.
Tell me how many teeth you want Matrix to knock out of Rick Diesel's mouth. Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry, we were talking about the show. We're talking about questions for the show.
Yeah. You know what? On that note, I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to wrap it up for this time. Let us know, guys, what you think, and let us know how this show goes. And I guess for Reagan Danzig, this is Rick Diesel, the man in charge, and we will see you on the next episode next week. How's that? Bye, Reagan. You have a great week.
You do too.